Before I start, let me just say I totally forgot that this album was celebrating an anniversary, and I watched the video by the Fireburns Within channel, so a quick shout out to the Fireburns Within for reminding me of doing this. So let me get to the video right now. Welcome to my channel. This is JC Rock and Metal Reviews. My name is John. Today I have a special anniversary review. Blackout by Scorpions, and this was released on March 29th, 1982. Released on both Harvest Records and Mercury Records. And it is celebrating its 40th anniversary. One of my favorite Scorpions albums, could be my favorite, but it is definitely a great album. So I'm going to talk about, I'll give you a little background, I'll talk about the songs, my final thoughts, and I'll tell you what's coming up next. So this is an album that came out like during that sweet spot in the Scorpions' career when they released some really great albums. Animal Magnetism. During this time, Klaus Meine lost his voice, and he had to undergo some surgery on his vocal cords. And at first, they didn't know if he was going to be able to record. So while they were recording the demos, they had Don Dokken, record the demos, which is kind of interesting. And I'm actually not sure if those demos were ever released, but if they are going to release some kind of box set or anniversary, it would be pretty cool to include those demos. Now, he wasn't really given any credit on the album except for credit as backing vocals. So the album cover, it is one of my favorite album covers by the Scorpions. Could be my favorite. It was created by an artist. His name is Gottfried Hellwein. And also interesting that Rudolf Schenker kind of plays this character, this I guess Insane Asylum character, in the No One Like You music video. And I thought that's pretty cool. And it's also pretty cool that I really love this album. I did a drawing of it, so I'll do a little cutaway to show you that. It's a colored pencil drawing. It's on the other wall. It used to appear in my background on some of my older videos, but I thought now is the perfect time to show you a classic. Now, I did this all in colored pencil. I'll just give a quick close-up of some of the details here. And definitely, I would say my favorite Scorpions albums, which is why I did the recreation of it. So let me get back to the review. A popular album. It was certified gold in June 1982 and certified platinum in March 84. Now, some of the songs were used in popular culture. For example, the song China White, that was used for a wrestling team. And this is regarded as one of their best albums. So, for example, Rolling Stones ranked it 73 on their 100 greatest metal albums of all time. This was back in 2017 when they did this list. So the album has the classic lineup. Klaus Meine on lead vocals, Rudolf Schenker, he does rhythm and lead, and Matthias Jabs, again rhythm and lead on various tracks. Francis Butschultz on bass, and Herman Rarebell on drums. So I'm going to talk about the song. Starts off with Blackout. So this one's a hard rocker with power chords. Song is filled with lots of guitar fills, and you could tell that this album is very influential on 80s heavy metal. So during the chorus, they play a heavier and faster riff. The sound production is very good in this album. You do hear all the instruments very clearly. Then there's Can't Live Without You. So this one starts with the chugging guitars. Klaus Meine does, the 1, 2, 3, 4 count. This one has lots of those guitar fills and chugging guitar rhythms, and I think they may have been influenced by those early Van Halen albums. They seem to add in lots of those guitar fills in these songs. It's also a catchy song with power chords in the chorus. Then No One Like You is probably the most recognizable song on the album. Now this was the blueprint for 80s heavy metal. The Scorpions seem to follow the style on their subsequent albums in the 80s, and also more on their most recent album. They did kind of go back to this album a lot as well. Now, No One Like You is a power ballad. It has the melodic solo in the intro with the clean guitars, the melodic singing in the verse with power chords in the chorus. This was really the perfect formula for those power ballads in the 80s. Now, keep in mind, this was released in 1982, very early 80s, but it does have a sound like heavy metal from those mid to late 80s. Then You Give Me All I Need, that's the next one. This one has the intro, somewhat of a power ballad. It has that same formula with a guitar solo in the intro, the acoustic guitars in the verse, and this one's a little different. They kind of strum acoustic guitars in the verse. The song follows like the light verse, heavy chorus formula, and the solo is awesome. You do hear the bass guitar behind it. So, like I said, I'll repeat with a really great production value on this album. Then there's a song Now. It's a short song, under 3 minutes. It's just their fastest and heaviest song on the album. Maybe one of their heaviest songs they've ever released. Just they turn up everything on the song. Really great way to kind of add in like a heavy song after, followed by some like power ballad. So, you know, the Scorpions do this very well. Like they have a really great like song placement, and they do that on most of their albums. Then Dynamite. This was a cool deep cut. Also one of the heavier songs. It has like this heavy riff in the intro, guitar riff. Now the solo is mixed a little lower, and like the heavier riff is like mixed a little higher here. In the verse, now Klaus Meine sings, well, just like the drums, and they added some like heavy power chords during the chorus. I really like the way they did the mixing on the song, with like they isolated some of the instruments. They kind of bring out the drums in the song very well. And you know, it does bring some you know, variety to the album. Then the song Arizona. This is just pure melodic rock. Now it just has everything you would want in like an arena rock song. The lyrics, typical Scorpions, filled with those like innuendos. You know, talking about they went to Arizona, meeting a girl. It appears like they met her on the street and they got together or something like that. But lots of power chords, lots of guitar solos. Then China White. This is probably the most underrated song on the album. It has that like slow intro, the bass and the drums, followed by the slower, heavy riffs. Now, there is a song on a new album that has a similar style. I forgot the name of it. You can put it in the comments if you remember what it is. It has Klaus Meine singing like these isolated verses with the guitar riffs, and then they bring in like the guitars later. Rudolf Schenker plays lead on this one. Matthias Jabs was on the rhythm guitar. The guitar solo kind of has like a different tone. They add some like guitar effects, almost like kind of like in slight echo. And this is also like the longest song at close to 7 minutes. Final song on the album, When the Smoke is Going Down. So this is a ballad. Now the band likes to end their albums with a ballad. The intro has clean guitars playing arpeggios, and there are some like bass fills in the intro. The vocals are much softer than the other songs. The chorus has these sustained power chords and the clean guitars, you know, continuing with those arpeggios. And this is more of a ballad as opposed to some like the heavier power ballads towards the beginning of the album. And the guitar solo is played more like with a clean setting and with like a slight echo effect. I thought that was pretty cool. Great way to end the album. In conclusion, not much more to say. Probably my favorite Scorpions album. I really loved it, just start to finish. Just great mix of hard rock, some heavy metal, power ballads, the normal ballads, and I think like this is like where they like reached their peak. You know, they had some great albums right before this, you know, Animal Magnetism and those albums, and then after this with you know, those ones from like the 80s. But awesome album, and like I said, I can't say anything better than it. I don't know, I can give it a 10 out of 10 if you want, because I really love it. Up next, another anniversary with Def Leppard's Adrenalize, and also I'll try to get that black metal review out if I have time this week. And that's it. Please like, comment, subscribe. I did a Scorpions ranking recently. It doesn't include the new one, but I did it last year and I didn't update it. But if you want to check it out, I'll stick it right there. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.